Now, President Jonathan himself is the only person who can tell us whether he wants to run or not. What we know is that there's social pressure on him. You have a catalogue of groups. Bring back our good luck. South Renaissance. Good luck Jonathan Coalition. Groups at home and abroad. There's another group in Canada that says that the only way to move Nigeria forward is to have President Jonathan. I have made a point before that, this is vindication for President Goodluck Jonathan. After all, when we left government in 2015, everybody said, oh, this is the worst government we have ever seen. Well, all the people who said that, they are apologizing now. And now they want President Jonathan to come and fix Nigeria. That's what they are saying. But there is a legal part to it beyond social pressure, which is the section 137 sub 3 of the 1999 Constitution, section 182 sub 3 of the 1999 Constitution, under the fourth alteration that was carried out. Now, that fourth alteration that came after President Jonathan had left office. And the big issue here, which had already been determined by the Federal High Court in Yenagoa, is whether the law can have retrospective effect. Now, there's another story saying President Jonathan has now gone to court to seek further clarification on that matter. The matter has not yet been determined by the court, but the only thing we can hold on to is the beautiful bride. But a man who has been president of this country and that his country is also asking for, it's up to him to say whether he will run or not. It is not something that commentators can dictate to him, or pressure groups can dictate to him. It is his own choice. Now, beyond all of that, you have the NDC matter. Over the weekend, the most important thing that came out from the National Democratic Congress, the Nigeria Democratic Congress, is that there was the registration of party members, there was a convention, and then all of that. But the bigger story is the assumption or the declaration that the NDC says their candidate must come from the South. And, Dr. Kwankwanso reported as having endorsed that. And on the basis of that, the story we hear is that the NDC is going to adopt the OK proposition. And the Obedience have been jubilating that Mr. Peter Obi will most likely be the presidential candidate of that party. The party itself has not said so. So, it's a developing story. We don't know what will happen. And then you could well ask, if they say it's the South that will produce the candidate, who is going to be that candidate? The people who are lobbying for President Jonathan. Okay, are they thinking of President Jonathan as the candidate of the NDC? Are they thinking of him as the candidate of the PDP, which is a troubled platform? And that's why there are questions about whether President Jonathan will run or not. Which platform is he likely to use? So, and then agreeing on a 4-year deal, look, that's something in the air. How is it going to work? Because even if they choose Mr. Peter Obi as an individual can say, I want to be president for just 4 years and I will let it go. But the way this politics is shaping out, people are using ethnicity as leverage.
Then Jonathan, potential to run causes a stir. And it almost seems like deja vu again. Did he run in 2023? Absolutely not. In the elections? No, he didn't. Because he has taken that position and continued to say that he's a statesman. He's traveled across the African continent observing elections. He's been consulted across different party lines from different political aspirants. And so this is the position he has taken. What more does he want? He has served as deputy governor. He has served as governor. He has served as vice president. He has served as president in himself. And he left a legacy where people still refer to one of the biggest statements in Nigerian political terrain in modern times, where he says, no life of a Nigerian is worth the ambition of any man. And that has put him in the line of history, Nigerian history, perhaps forever. And so if he comes back, it might taint some of the gains that he's made, despite the fact that he left on a wave of people criticizing the way that he handled insecurity, which, in some quarters have been said was a creation of his political enemies. But now we've seen that you cannot just politicize insecurity. It is the responsibility of leadership to take ownership of that. And so whilst people can compare the economy under the Jonathan administration, the naira to the dollar, the GDP, foreign reserves, he's also not made that commitment. The other question, even if in the very rare instance that he decides to run, is which party is he going to run? Yes, some people have come out to say that, okay, the PDP, they're even going to buy a form for which PDP? The PDP in its current state, the PDP that does not have a sense of direction currently. I'm sorry to say, but that's the obvious thing. I mean, there's already even a faction with regards to which side of the PDP he's going to go to. On one hand, they're saying that there are posters in Kaduna, for instance, where they're putting him and putting on the party. And on the other hand, Tanim Turaki faction, which is still under debate based on ruling, the Supreme Court ruling, he's saying that no, he's registered under their party. So there's already division and confusion on that level. Taking up, going to the PDP would just be, I don't understand how that would work. But finally, what that would do if he runs, which I doubt very much, is that it would further divide the opposition votes, which was the position of the Christian Association of Nigeria and other groups that have come out to respond to potential, President Goodluck Jonathan running. Would it excite the race? Absolutely. I believe that he's one candidate that could potentially give the president, that's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the APC, a run for their money. However, would he run? I doubt that very much. But let's see how the race goes. This is politics. Anything can happen.
Okay, very good thoughts. As regards that, dear President Jonathan, those that said you were not good enough in 2015 are trying to push you around this time around. If you fall for their gambit and if you fall for what they're trying to push, they will just have used you to achieve their own aims and objectives, because in the end, it's all about them, not about you. They came out, they said all sorts of things. They cast aspersions on you. They made you an object of ridicule. You took the higher ground by calling President Buhari to congratulate him. Do not allow them push you into this. I'm not saying you don't have a right to run, but what are the odds? Yes, you get in there, people are talking about the PDP running in the PDP. PDP is in shambles to stay as we speak. So even if you get on the ballots, pending when PDP seeks interpretation for which faction holds the ace, then you get on the ballots. What are you going to tell the Nigerian people? I'm just asking, what are you going to tell the Nigerian people when you campaign? Oh, what we didn't do about 10 years ago, that's what we're coming to do now. Is that what you're going to tell them? What are you going to give to them as a legacy? People that have already placed you in a certain pedestal. You've had a vantage point to look at this. What are you going to tell them? So it is also incumbent on all of us to be careful. And we shouldn't take the Nigerian people for granted. And because President Jonathan also running, like he's rightly said, yes, we also divide a lot of the opposition. President Tinubu, a lot of people are complaining that, oh, things are tough in this economy. He will easily swing his way, as it is today because of the division of the opposition. He will easily have his way. So we need to be circumspect in doing things. And being a statesman, if only some people will understand the term statesman, means having respect and decorum for the interests of the state over self. As regards the APC, there's a lot of chaos going on in the APC as we speak today. The fact that the consensus thing has thrown a lot of things off balance. The screening process too, if you see what happened to Fubara yesterday, although some said it was told to take a bow, some said otherwise, some said it wasn't screened, some said he came out angry. Whatever it is, look at Nasarawa. Look at even other states of the country. Look at Ogun State here. Who is going to emerge? Governor Benga Daniel, former Governor Benga Daniel, current Governor Dapo Abiodun. So the APC is on tentacles, and that's why you're seeing a lot of defection to other parties like the NDC and the likes. The NDC had their own, convention over the weekend. The NDC also needs to watch it. And it is time for the NDC to start showing us their manifesto on how they're going to do, because we're going to press their neck. Because what I see is that NDC has now become a party, like Dr. Bati predicted, for internally displaced politicians, IDPs. All of them are running to NDC now. Everybody, I'm seeing all sorts of posters. And please, guys, I'm not partisan. Stop sending me all sorts of your political ambition. Post it out there on your pages. Please. We need real democracy that works for the interests of the people. So, a party where a lot of people are going to is also a recipe for chaos. Yes, Saraki Dixon was saying we have no factions. All of a sudden you start to see that there are factions. And there are further divisions. This day stood by the story over the weekend of the cracks even in the Progressive Governors Forum. In fact, the Wheel has done an investigative journalism job today to say that it was because of 800 billion that was donated that some people shared amongst themselves that is causing the chaos in the Progressive Governors Forum. So you can see fractures even in the fold of the APC, and people are beginning to pivot. It's going to be a very convoluted and interesting season. But the most important thing is, the question is, are we thinking of the Nigerian people that are long suffering? Because I don't think we're thinking of them. Look at what happened in Jos over the weekend. Another killing, 7 people. On Friday, I think about 21 people. The military said they were bombing a place in Niger, bombing terrorists, which will support them for their good work. Now we're hearing about collateral damage. The military has come out and said that there's no collateral damage. People are not being killed. So you're having a lot of this. Nigerian people are taking so much heat. Who is going to speak up for them? Everybody's just talking about their own interests. Who is going to talk about development and the overriding interests of the Nigerian people? Who truly cares for them? And that's why you Nigerian people, you need to be able to scrutinize. You need to be able to press the neck of the APC and ask them what will be their manifesto, press the neck of the ADC, press the neck of all the political parties and ask them, what do they have? You, the Nigerian people, you need to be selfish this period. Because these guys don't care about you, they care about their interests. Look at some of the lawmakers that defected from the Labour Party, that rode on the mandate of the people freely, that they went to the APC then. Things are not favoring them now. They're trying to find their way back to the NDC. Do these people have shame at all? They're trying to find their way already to the NDC because it doesn't favor them in the APC. Sometimes goodbye to these people is the second chance they need, because they will do it over and over again. They are not sorry. So you should mark these people out. People that rode on the Labour wave, mark them out. It's always about them in the end. And as I wrap up, like I said rightly,